Kanye! Life of Pablo! Real friends! Sorry, wrong sheet. Wrong sheet. There we go. Jason Maek and Zaena. At least that's how we think your names are pronounced. If they're not, then we apologise. So, these cool cats, they contacted us. They got in touch. They said, hey, we've got this musical project you guys should check out. And they were so delightful. They were just lovely, lovely people. And their project was so interesting. We thought we'll check it out. Pow! So we did. Now, this project is a visual album called Fashion Week. The music can be appreciated on its own. And the visuals are pretty damn awesome as well. I was enjoying some of these stop animations.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm going to warn that if you want some interesting and reflective criticism and insight into the video, I'm not going to give you anything.
Yes,
I've written down a couple of notes here. Most of them are like, I liked that guy's shoes. Girl had some cool hair, you know. I'm not a video guy.
They were very beautiful people.
Yeah, and
Unlike
they were
us.
dancing. One of them looked like Tom York.
Did they?
Yep.
Is that someone in the music video?
Yep.
Okay.
On the video for Rain on Me, the guy in that video looks a bit like Tom York.
Okay. Yes, actually, yeah, I feel you.
With slightly less lazy eye, but he
Rain
looks a bit like Tom York.
Okay. So, it's all about fashion. These guys, I think they work in fashion. I think they're fashion designers of some kind.
What?
You didn't really listen to the bits in between the songs, did you?
I did. I listened to all of them.
I think what they said was they're musicians. They talked to fashion designers in designing this album.
Yeah. They aren't fashion designers.
But they're very interested in the world of fashion.
Probably.
Let's go.
More than I am.
Let's go that far.
More than I am. And it was weird listening to this because at first it's sort of hard to because it just started. It just goes into just music.
Yeah, I like.
And
that.
I was like, I liked it, but I was like, is this just gonna be one long thing? And it did break it up later, and they had the name of the song come up on each song, but the intro and the outro didn't. They just went.
Well, both me and Kit went onto the SoundCloud.
The SoundCloud
link that was also provided, which did have all the track names and everything split up individually.
What was the intro called?
The intro was called
Step and Repeat.
And what was the outro called?
Final Walk.
Ooh.
I thought the first track was possibly one of my favourites.
It was really good. I loved the bell sound they had there. It wasn't quite...
Are we talking about Step and Repeat or are we talking about Birthday?
Step and Repeat.
Intro, as I called it.
Nice.
Intro. But yeah, it had the nice bell sound. It was kind of like a bit still Panish, but it was clearly digital and it wasn't quite, but it had that sort of same vibe. The vocal was nice. It had a nice atmosphere. I was like, this is starting off strong.
Yeah, it was like a short and sweet sort of introduction. It was like it set the tone really nicely. I was getting sort of R&B, hip-hop. There's a touch of Frank Ocean about the track.
Got that whole, talking rap.
Yes. I really liked his rap when he was doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So did I, actually.
Yeah.
Really chill vibe on that opening track.
Yeah. And I even liked the things he was saying. He was talking about, how he appreciates style because it says who you are without having to speak. And I thought, it makes you think.
That's why James dressed like a twat.
I like it. I like his going for. I thought it was pretty good.
Your voice doesn't convince me.
Okay, so moving on.
Birthday. I liked this. I thought it had a good opening. It was pretty bombastic, pretty big, pretty epic sounding.
Great word.
Excellent word. And then it went into it had some nice guitar thing as well. It went into some pretty decent trap.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything super amazing. He had a bit of, also this is the first time I noticed a few of the tracks. Sometimes when he raps, or when one of the guys on this raps, I don't know if they got multiple people.
I think it's all Jason.
Because they do get features at points, but yeah, I'm not sure. He has a sort of Kendrick. I call him Kendrick again. Kendrick sound to his voice at the start of bars, and I've noticed it, and I was like, ooh.
I was getting a lot of. I felt like he must have a big influence. Like he must be influenced by Kanye West and a lot of this sort of cadences
Well,
and style for things.
One of them is very clear.
Yeah.
When you're watching the video, there's a lot of actual references to Kanye in one of these videos. So he's clearly like a big influence on them.
I thought the production all over this album was like
It's pretty good.
really tight. It was. If I have one criticism of it, I would say it felt like it was a bit following like the fashion. Bringing it all back.
I made all these puns as well.
Yeah.
I thought I liked a lot of this album. It was very stylish.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it had some good things, but it does show its inspirations on a lot of these tracks quite heavily. Like in a lot of these, especially later on, I have some notes where you can see very obvious influences. On fashion, there's a very clear Kanye influence in the music and in the video.
Yeah.
Models All Around Me sounds like it was hugely influenced by... I thought it sounded, especially structure-wise, it was like exactly the same as Wild for the Night by A$AP Rocky and Skrillex.
Yeah.
It was like exactly that. I Need Love was very OVO sound, very Drake and that sort of gang. Walk the Line had quite a big room influence. You know, there was a lot of ones that sort of...
A lot of Johnny Cash influence as well.
Yeah. Birthday, Trap,
Yep.
Get Up, very sort of influenced by like tropical house sounds and stuff like that.
There was a lot of trap all over this. I really loved the Zaena's vocals all over this. I thought they were really nice. I would say I would like to hear more of the rapping. I was hoping he might like really go in on some of the songs, like have a whole song of like a bunch of verses, but it seems to be quite kind of sporadic where the rapping is. I would have liked to hear more of that dude. Go for it.
I also thought a lot of these tracks, even though I did like them, felt like they went on a bit too long at points.
Yeah.
Like they had multiple verses, choruses when like just two would have been enough, and stuff like that. And they sort of at points like, especially some songs, because some songs I liked verses and didn't like chorus, and then they would just keep going on, and I'd sort of be like, oh, this isn't even the good part. Like, can we get to the next one now?
So one of the cool things about this project is that in the video, the visual album, they give you little sort of interviews like between songs, and it gives you an idea of like how they made it. Like, and one of the things I liked is they mentioned something we criticize a lot about albums, which is too many songs syndrome.
Yeah,
and they obviously...
Which I think we should rename the game syndrome.
Yeah. And they obviously thought about this because they say we had like 30 tracks and they edited it down to a nice, 10 tracks.
Plus 8 tracks with intro and outro.
Yeah.
Which is good.
And I thought, you know what? They've got like the flow, it flows really nicely. They've got a nice length. Yeah.
I'm going to have to say,
yeah,
I had problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a private
I'm an alcoholic.
So back to the album.
I had problems with the album because it's all music that I don't really listen to that much. By which I mean I don't listen to it because I know I don't like it, not it's like obscure and...
A lot of trap and dance stylings.
Yes. I thought the trap was... I don't know. It felt as though it was kind of riding the train of trap is popular, therefore we'll make trap. I'm not sure it was necessarily a great choice. I'm not sure. I'm not sure a way of putting it.
At points, I agree with you. I thought the first track, Birthday, which was the first track and the first trap track, was pretty good. I liked that. Then there was another trap one I'm trying to think of, but then specifically, was it Models Around? No, yeah, Models Around Me was pretty weak. I thought it was
very obnoxious.
A bad Wild for the
Night.
Night.
I wrote obnoxious, but I like obnoxious in a good way.
It was like the first time I heard it, I described it as like Jack U without the complexity, which sort of makes it interesting. It had the sort of sound of it, that sort of aggressive sound, but it didn't have all of the intricate drum patterns and stuff. And then I realised how similar it was for Wild for the Night, especially with the intro. And I was like, yes, it is just Wild for the Light, but with a less interesting rhythm and melody. And rhythm of the melody.
Walk the Line also had a very kind of obnoxious EDM sound.
Walk the Line annoyed me because it starts off and it's absolutely generic 2014 big room fad.
And then it breaks into something which is actually really
into some nice singy poppy stuff. But I was like, it's nice sort of poppy singy stuff, but it's going to go back into this deep big room stuff and I'm going to be like, fuck this. And then suddenly it went like progressive, like sort of mousetrap sort of house. And I was like, this is awesome. That bit was really good. And then it went back into, an even worse version of a big room drop. But without those bits, there was like a really
good middle section.
Yeah,
to
and
that
it
song.
started and ended awfully. Like if I could say like the start and end of this song would be my least, and the middle of this would be one of my favourites. Like
I think the problem with that track in particular is that style of kind of obnoxious EDM. By which I mean like a very big, dirty kind of synth that takes up
very sharp and obnoxious.
Everything. The problem with starting it like that and then having something completely different in the middle is that the people that you're trying to sell that to are two very different people. There are going to be the people that love the obnoxious stuff but didn't like the middle bit, and there's going to be loads of people that love the middle bit and didn't like the obnoxious stuff. However, I'm not sure how much of a crossover there is. I'm not sure how many people are going to really enjoy both sides of it.
I feel like they achieved what they set out to do. I think they went for what they were going for, and I liked it. A criticism, I thought it was a bit too poppy, and I think it could have had more personality into it. I think they could have had a lot more personality.
I think Fashion was the other one I was thinking of that was a bit trappy because it was very Kanye West. And I thought it was sort of a good sort of maybe ode to Kanye West sort of thing, but it wasn't quite big enough to pull off the style he does. But out of those tracks, I want to start being more positive. Talking about some songs I really liked on here, specifically Rain on Me. Pretty interesting sort of surrealist sort of thing, especially with the video going on as well, house stuff. Got a bit of an Atlas vibe. I'm not sure if this is one of their obvious influences because he's pretty obscure and small, but that sort of vibe, I really liked it. This was another one where when he started rapping, he sounded a bit like Kendrick for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it sort of fades out of his voice, but he definitely had it. And I was like, that really like. There was I Need Love, sort of OVO sound trap. I liked that. It had some good melodic parts. I thought it had the Drake style sound, which I really liked.
I wrote that it had a really cool whoop whoop lead.
And Get Up. It was kind of pop, deep house sort of thing.
Get Up. Do you know why?
Dembo.
Tropical house.
But I really liked it. I thought it was good. It had a nice vibe. It sounded really nice. It was in a sort of weird place between pop deep house and between sort of tropical house. It was in this sort of weird area where it had
dance hall in there.
It had Dembo and it had sort of the deep house bass, but it didn't have it as big as pop deep house has it. But it didn't quite have it as thin and airy as tropical house has it. It was in sort of a weird space of taking bits from all of them, but I thought it worked.
Yeah.
So which of those tracks would you say are your favourites?
For me, Step and Repeat is probably my favoritist.
That's the intro, yeah? Yeah. I really liked that, yeah.
I really liked Birthday as well.
Birthday was good.
And I liked I Need Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my favourites would be the intro, Rain on Me.
Yep.
I Need Love. They're my top three, and then honourable mentions to Get Up and Birthday.
Okay.
I would go intro, Step and Repeat. Outro, Final Walk. I thought they were both excellent ways of starting and closing the album.
I just think the problem for me is that the outro for me is just the same as the intro, but I prefer the intro one, you know?
Maybe. Yeah, I can see that.
But they're both good.
And I would say Fashion. I actually really enjoyed Fashion. It had a lot of different styles in it, and the verses in it were really good as well.
Yeah. You can see they were going for that like really pop thing there with the whole like Britney Spears, London, Milan, Tokyo, you know, that kind of thing.
I understand.
Yeah. So I'd say overall, really, really liked the project and the ideas and the content, the whole fashion week thing. I'd say
I can't get
next time, a bit more personality. Maybe try and cut back on some of the pop. And I really like the sort of trap stuff you're going for. But
I'd say just try something that like you don't think that anyone else has tried. Just really try it. Something like completely your idea.
And maybe a bit more moderation in some of the things that are done. Because if they don't hit, it starts to drag.
Because what I can tell is that you know how to produce
and write a song. It's like there was some really great variation, like in the songs. They weren't boring. You know how to construct a song really well.
But for me personally, I thought it was very. I thought that everything was done well, but too similar to other people that kind of specialise in those specific genres.
Yeah, it kind of walked a sort of jack of all trades kind of line a bit.
Out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 7.
I agree. I liked a lot of these songs. I liked the style and the sound of the whole piece. But it didn't quite have that. You know, we always say, like...
It doesn't have something
You need to have something special to get an 8. And I think it just doesn't quite have that, so I'd say 7.
Okay. I'm going to be a knobhead. I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay.
But that's not
honest opinions,
bad. It's not necessarily a bad thing, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we really enjoy this. So, we'll catch you guys next time. We've got the Twitters, we've got the Facebooks, we've got the YouTubes, you've got the subscribe buttons, you've got the like buttons, you've got all those things you know how to use.
Many
Just
buttons.
go and use them. We'll catch you later. Sonic Squeeze. Doo-doo-doo.